What's up, guys? It's Michell here. Just wanted to take 10 seconds of your time and let you know I would love to be your bass instructor if you're looking to get serious about your playing. So come join the community over at lowenduniversity.com. You can get your first month of membership entirely free right now. Enjoy the lesson, and I'll see you over there. This lesson is titled The Heavy Metal Technique, and in it I will be teaching you how to get a pick sound using your fingers. Now when I think of really good heavy metal bass tone, a couple players come to mind like Jason Newsted, Dave Ellefson, and more on the classic rock side, Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses. And the few things those guys have in common is that no matter how big the guitar sound is or how intricate the rhythm guitar part is, they're able to cut through and have very consistent note definition. It's because they use a pick. You know, if I try to play those sort of things with basic finger style, especially my technique where I sort of have a lighter jazz touch, I'm not really slapping the strings too much, and I'm plucking fairly softly. If I sort of play that stuff over like a really classic heavy metal tone or against two guitarists to even make it harder to cut through, you're going to hear my bass, but you're not going to hear the note attacks. You're going to kind of hear this muffled. And if I'm sort of going, you're not going to really hear that. It's just going to kind of sound like. So if you want that sort of tone over a heavy metal song, that, you know, more power to you. But if you really want to cut through and have that classic sound that really fits the bass inside of each note, really outlines the tone and the attack of the guitars, I changed my technique completely for this. And a lot of what I'm going to do to my technique is sort of against the rules of technique I've set here on the website and sort of things I would never do in my normal playing. So if I were just to take a normal bass technique, to go to this heavy metal technique, it's very simple. I sort of put the bottom side of my wrist on the bass neck. Now every bass shape is different, so just adjust it to how you feel comfortable. This is what I do and should work for all basses. I sort of put my bottom side of my wrist sort of on the edge of the body, and as I said, I move my hand closer because I want to get that looser part of the string. You really want the strings to kind of flap. If I'm doing that stuff down here, you know, trying to bend the strings is tough. There's a lot of tension. You sort of want to go up here. And I sort of just pluck through the strings as hard as I can. I'm plucking a lot harder, but I'm sort of just slapping the strings. Instead of sort of plucking through them like this, I'm sort of plucking through them like this. I'm still going through them, but I'm not pulling sort of this way. I'm sort of kind of just going down, like as if I would hit the body back here if I played hard enough. And I'm letting the front of my fingers really come out to really get that recoil. I'm not going, this is my normal technique. You can see how far my fingers go away. But doing this technique, I'm kind of really flying them out here. And that sounds kind of ugly when you play it by itself, but inside of a heavy metal context, a lot of those unpleasant noises sort of get drowned out, and you really get those attack-based ones, which helps you to outline the guitar part. So going back to the technique, I'm moving to the neck, and I'm sort of slapping the strings, and I really want to play them hard. And the challenging thing about this technique is the endurance to do this. It's really tough and it kind of wears you out, but it's a part of really getting that sound. So I'm going from this to now this. You just want to really hear that metal. You know, we call it heavy metal for a reason. I'm not sure that's the exact reason it's called heavy metal, but for this example, that's why I would think of it to be called heavy metal, because you're really hearing that. Even without a note there, you're getting a lot of metallic recoil. And you sort of want to make all of your attacks at that level. You know, when I do this sort of stuff finger style, every now and then you'll hear that. You kind of hear those little sizzles come out. And that sounds inconsistent. And it's hard to get rid of those. So instead of trying to get rid of them and have a really smooth part, you just want to go the other way and get all of them and make them really consistent and sort of adjust your compression. We'll get to that. And your EQ and technique to really make them cut through. So I'm going from to now. And sometimes I even put my thumb here on the actual neck fretboard area right here. That way I can just really have an anchor place and place my thumb down. You just really want that back and forth axis. So the last point I wanted to make to address the issue of compression, which is something you can use to really make this technique and tone really sound polished, is to use a compressor and adapt the same settings that I discussed in lesson number 84, which is using a compressor for tapping. And even though that lesson is really focused around tapping, the principles remain the same for what we're doing. We're trying to get fast, articulate notes to cut through multiple guitars, or just even one guitar that has a heavy sort of wall of sound distortion. That can be very tough as bass players, but adapting this technique and using a compressor can really make it happen. So thanks for watching, and check out these examples and hope you enjoy, and try incorporating this heavy metal technique into your playing. Find some old school Metallica, Megadeth, whatever. Even though Cliff Burton uses fingers, still want to go for that tone just to try this out. Have fun with it. We'll see you next time.